Hello everyone, it's Alexis with Create Your Future, and I'm back today with another video, another success story from one of my clients, as well as some really fun information about quantum jumping, changing realities, and how we can use this in order to get out of feeling stuck, frustrated, overwhelmed, needy, and or desperate when manifesting for your specific person or anything else. Before we get started, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Please hit the bell icon in the box below and you get notified every time we post new videos. And also, before I go into the success story, just a reminder and an announcement that I still have my new Get Your SP Now course. It's available on our website under Law of Attraction courses. It's also in the description box below. And you guys, I'm getting rave reviews. People love it. Everyone's just digesting all the information. They're writing in, they're telling me just so many good things about it. So I have to say once again that course is available for download, and that immediately once you purchase it, you get the workbook, you get the course, you get all the information to dive into recreating your specific person. And in fact, the client who is a success story today, she used the same process that I walk you through in the course, which is also what helped her manifest the changing of her SP. All right, so now for the success story. Just a couple details about this specific person and her SP, okay? It was a man and a woman. So I'm gonna go gender norm here. It was a man and it was a woman, and they were in their reality together. Now, when they first met, the SP, he showed up like a player. He was a stereotypical guy's guy. He didn't have time for her. He always put her on the back burner, didn't put her first, put his needs first, put his family first, put his emotions first. And she was always feeling really needy, really desperate. Her emotions felt out of control. She felt attached to him in an unhealthy way before she began coaching. And she just had a lot of negative information that were in her reality at the time. Okay. So that was how she started. So once we began coaching, she recreated him. Once I walked her through what the recreation process of someone really looks like and how you do that. And we identified she had to do that because besides the physical connection, the physical attraction, and an unseen need that she had identified about him, there wasn't a lot about him that she really liked. So his personality was lacking. The actions he took and the people he spent his time with weren't the best. And his focus wasn't really on her. So there wasn't really a lot about him that she liked, besides that she identified that he was her person at the time. So like a soulmate, or there was some kind of unspoken, unseen connection, and she really chosen him. So I have a lot of clients that feel that way, by the way. So if that's you, totally okay. Doesn't matter. It does help to kind of know why you're choosing to recreate the SP, because that will help remind you in times of doubt and until you get into that chosen reality. So what she ended up doing is we got her on the mental diet, which is always the answer, because your thoughts are things, your thoughts create, right? We all know that. And she really turned this guy around. So in a matter of 2 to 3 months, he invited her on vacation. They were moving towards a relationship. He was inviting her to spend time with him and his son. He was inviting her to parties. Let me see some of the other details outside the mental diet. Oh, like they were spending so much time together. He was calling her all the time, sharing all of his life with her, telling her really about everything. And that was part of her intentions. So she really wanted to recreate him. And as they moved through it, they ended up being in a committed relationship, by the way, which is really, really fun. She went through various versions of him, though. So let's just say that there were some aspects of this guy that maybe wouldn't be ideal to most people. Like he might have been prone to testosterone-driven violence, or taking actions that might not necessarily be legal in all states. Okay, just to be honest. But the funny thing, no, it's not my reality. I don't mean to say funny, but the interesting thing is that as she began to recreate him from the version she met to the version that she wanted, all the other versions and all the versions of him and all the versions of her purged out in order for them to get in the relationship of the new two of them. Okay. So this is always what I see happens when you really use the mental diet. And I want to explain today in this video why this happens and what happens when you're quantum jumping and you're changing realities. Because what really happened for her is there was reality A. There was him, the player, her, the receiver. She was more codependent in this scenario. She was needy, desperate, and negatively attached, negatively focused, and that was them, okay? So she recreated them to be happy, in love, committed, sharing their lives together, moving forwards in a healthy, wholesome adult manner. Okay. But what the thing here we want to keep in mind is that these two scenarios are literally different realities. My nails happen to match this one. But in any event, it doesn't matter, because what you want to think about is that when you're manifesting for an SP or anything in your life, whether it's your job, career, your self-concept, is that the old version and the new version literally don't exist in the same place. They exist in different realms, in different parallel realities, and you're quantum jumping from one reality to another by persisting and staying on the new thoughts. And you purge out all the old beliefs, the old thoughts, the old assumptions as you jump from this to this. So there's a lot of talk in the modern pop psychology world about our belief systems, right? And we know that our assumptions create. So what I see happening though, is there's a lot of clients who think that they have to change a belief, like go into your subconscious or go into your conscious mind, change a belief, pull it out in order to go from this reality to this reality. Well, you don't need to. You don't have to. Because when you're on your mental diet and you're on the thoughts of living in the end, which is, let's say in this scenario, this reality, all of the thoughts, all of the assumptions, all the stuff and the beliefs that you don't want, my hair, naturally purge out. Now, the process isn't always effortless. Like for this client, for her to get from here to here, she might have witnessed some potentially illegal behavior that didn't last for very long. Okay. She might have potentially witnessed some aggressive testosterone behavior that wasn't directed at her, but didn't last for very long because she knew she could change it. She knew this guy was her person. She was committed to it. She persisted through it. And she got, again, from this reality to this reality. So that's what you're doing, because you guys literally in this reality, so this reality, chosen reality A, the thoughts, the negative thoughts, negative assumptions, negative beliefs that are here literally don't exist here. It's kind of a crazy thing. Like they literally don't exist because in this reality, you're lovey-dovey, married, happy, honky-dory, everything is great. So if you're happy in this reality, you wouldn't think the thoughts that you'd be thinking in this reality. So that's how we use the idea of reality switching, quantum jumping, parallel realities, multiple versions of selves and people and realities in our manifesting, because they're not in the same pocket. They're not in the same realm. They're not in the same reality. So again, you don't need to be thinking, what are my negative beliefs? What are my negative assumptions? All you have to do is be thinking thoughts of what you want, either propelling you towards what you want through step-by-step manifesting, or you're living in the end with thoughts of living in the end that get you there. So think of it like this another way. I guess I'm apparently full of props today. This is you in your relationship. Let's say this is, oh boy, which colors? Okay. In this client, this is he and she in the relationship. Now, in her reality, she's here, right? So in her mental diet, through living in the end, she's thinking here. She's either living in the end thinking here, or she's thinking of thoughts of a step-by-step process to get here. Either way, it doesn't matter. Both of them work. It doesn't matter whether all your intentions and all your thoughts are living in the end. I get asked this a lot. Do all your intentions have to be living in the end, or can they be generating towards living in the end? It really doesn't matter. You want to do what works for you. What is the road of least resistance? Where do you get the least pushback from your own mind? Okay. So again, this is her in the relationship. Thoughts are coming from here, and or thoughts are coming from here. Now, as you do this process, you purge out all of the thoughts and all the beliefs and all the assumptions that you have in the old reality so that you can get into the new reality. Okay, so that's really what quantum jumping is, and that's how we use the parallel realities perspective in conscious manifesting. Because once again, remember, your thoughts are things your thoughts create. Your thoughts go from the front of your mind to the back of your brain and out to your specific person or to whatever you're creating, because literally everything in your reality has to be carried out by a specific person anyways, even if it's more money, it's getting picked at a job, something is on sale at the grocery store. Someone has to put it on sale at the grocery store. You get what I'm saying? So everything involves an SP, and everything begins and ends with your thoughts. But the beautiful thing about the mental diet And the beautiful thing about understanding how your thoughts create is that you don't have to be worrying about what are my assumptions, what are my underlying beliefs about this, what's really beyond in the back of my mind. Now, you don't want to have a negative story running that's contradictory to all your thoughts. You want to be tackling the stories that come into your mind and the blocks that come up like that. But you guys, literally, it's as simple as there is a reality where you have what you want and you want to think thoughts of what you want until you get what you want. So you jump into that reality versus being in the reality where you don't have what you want. You think more of don't having what you want. And then literally it's impossible for your universe, your quantum reality to deliver to you what you want. So if this is you and your specific person, whether it's a man or a woman, happens to be a player, they're aloof, they're cold, they're distant, they have an emotional wall, they have insecurities, they are prone to violence, they're prone to making negative decisions, they're testosterone driven, they're this person, doesn't matter, because there is a reality where you exist and he or she exists, where you're in love. It's easy, it's built on kindness and compassion, you respect each other and you value each other. And you know, the thing is that once you understand how to think the thoughts of living in that reality, then getting there gets easier and easier, and it becomes more effortless over time. And you have less days where there's negative thoughts. You have more days where there's thoughts of what you want. And then you persist through it, because the thing about the mental diet is that by being on the thoughts of living in the end of the reality of your choosing, or the thoughts that you would just be thinking if you already had what you want in that reality, it again releases all of the negativity that you're holding on to unconsciously in the previous reality. I'm really hoping that all of this makes sense. So it's not complicated to think throughout the day to yourself and taking stock, thinking to yourself. I had this client do this a lot. I would have her sit with herself and say, am I thinking thoughts of what I want? Is my mind running and racing about thoughts that I don't want? Am I thinking about all the potentials of what I don't want? And that if I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. Okay. So throughout the day, she would sit with herself and she would really take stock, because her mind was so used to running the old story, the old reality, especially because the old story, the old reality, there was a lot of survival mode. There was a lot of having to like protect herself, be afraid, be thinking of like, what's he going to do next? What's he going to say next? How's he going to treat me? Where's he going to go? What's going on? So we really had to pull her out of being in the survival mode, thinking thoughts of the worst, thinking disaster mode thinking, and getting into a more balanced place, a place where things were just easier. It was easier for her to be in. Okay. Now I wanted to say too, that while she was doing this, she was interacting with the SP. So she was recreating him. It went from, as I already explained, pretty negative, okay, to what she wanted. So in the meantime, like while she was with him and while they were interacting, I really encouraged her to do two things: to be herself, and to sometimes limit her time with him to a bit, because when they would be around each other a lot, it really was difficult for her to be on her mental diet. But then she got better at it and it was okay. So you don't have to necessarily do that. But when in doubt, instead of her going to her SP focused intentions and her SP focused manifesting, I had her instead work on herself, her self-concept, and reinventing who she was as a person. And she really fell in love with this. She figured out some new hobbies. She redeveloped herself at the gym. She got more excited about doing like photo collaging and doing creative pursuits around the house. Her house was all of a sudden spick and span. All of her clothes were organized, and everything where she lived was just beautiful, because she would focus on the SP. So again, she would focus on the reality that she wanted. She would quantum jump with her thoughts throughout the day on purpose into this reality. And then whenever this reality would still show up, right, she would acknowledge it. She would say, okay, great. Thanks for visiting. I'm so glad you're here. So amazing. I'm going to work on myself, focus on my self-concept, foundationally developed a feeling of safety, security, and stability within myself. And then that propelled this reality to happen even faster. Okay, if you're one of my clients and you know that I use these pens during sessions, and I'll tell you by the end of the week, I'm confused, like which color means what, who's the SP, who's the person, what's going on here. So moral of the story is that if you feel frustrated, if you feel like you're pulling a sled uphill currently with your mental diet, then how about you think that there's two options here? Either you're in one reality where you think thoughts of what you don't want, and then you naturally get what you don't want, or you're in your chosen reality, you think thoughts of what you want, and therefore you get what you want. So try to keep it simple. And then if you're feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, or if there's any kind of like, not so positive things happening with your SP, then focus on yourself. Spend about 60% of your thoughts throughout the day focusing on you. And if your thoughts about yourself aren't amazing, aren't positive, aren't of what you want, then really, really use this time to recreate your version of yourself to be the best that you can be, redevelop hobbies, get back into yourself, focusing on putting yourself on the pedestal, like we always say, but really, really doing that for yourself because you deserve it. And what I have found with myself is the more that I can put myself on a pedestal, meaning that I just put myself first, to value myself, do things for myself, treat myself kindly, and I really focus on self-acceptance no matter what I do, even if I do something that I'm not happy with or not proud of, then the easier it is for me to manifest anything, because then you're not manifesting out of neediness, desperation, and lack. You always want to be manifesting for anything, especially your SP, when you're not needy, desperate, or needing that person, needing that thing to complete you, because that person, that thing outside of you is never going to complete you. And if you think that, then that's a foundational concept that you also want to work on changing, because the whole idea here is for you to be a whole, healthy, happy person in your reality outside of anyone and anything else. All right. So I hope that you found this video useful. And that's my video for today. I also wanted to add that along with the Get Your SP Now course, I've also created a Become a Master Manifestor course. So just like this client, you can go through steps in that course to really focus on your self-concept, how to figure out at a foundational level, how to bring in those thoughts of safety, security, stability, and being safe, stable, secure, no matter what else happens. And then working on manifesting your SP from there. All right, so hope you found this video useful. The link for booking one-on-one coaching with me is in the box below, as well as the link for Get Your SP Now in the box below and the Master Manifestor course. And before I go, one last thing is that don't forget that we're having a 100,000 sub giveaway. So every time that you post a comment on one of our videos about how Law of Attraction and or Create Your Future has helped you manifest something awesome into your life, you get put into a pool of people, and we're picking one person to give 3 free coaching sessions to. So that could be you. Please comment. And also share the video, share this knowledge so that someone out there who's kind of hurting with their SP can get to the reality of their choosing, quantum jump into what they want, and make it happen. All right. So also go out there, make today awesome. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.